Hello, and welcome to Dynamics 365 Project Operations for Executives and Directors. Hosting today's webinar are Green Data Ventures and Texas PGB, two Microsoft partners who are working together to share the benefits of Microsoft's newest addition to the Dynamics 365 platform. I'm Patrick Boren, and I'll be one of your presenters today. I lead the team at Texas PGB as a principal consultant. As we move through the presentation today, you'll also hear from John Michael Scott, founder and CEO of Green Data Ventures. Our collective experience totals over 35 years of solving high-impact project management and IT transformation-related business problems for Fortune 500 companies. We're both really excited to share this information with you today. And as we present, we welcome questions. Using the question feature, submit your questions, and we'll take a few minutes at the end of our session to address as many as we can. If we don't get to yours, we'll still be able to see it, and we'll reach out directly after the webinar to address it with you. Microsoft has been consistently enhancing and improving the Dynamics 365 platform. With the addition of Project Operations, we've seen another major leap in capabilities. Project Operations has unified the aspects that we know and love about Dynamics already, such as CRM capabilities for contacts, accounts, leads, and opportunities, with the Microsoft Project toolset, specifically Project for the Web. Combining these tools into a seamless platform has created more value than just the sum of the parts. One of the most significant advantages for leadership when moving into a tool like Project Operations is to have information accessible. Gone are the days of relying on Excel reports, manual manipulation, and lengthy processes to get your hands on simple KPIs for your company. John Michael, Project Operations offers reports and dashboards to help support critical decision making. Can you tell us a bit about how reports and dashboards differ and what our options look like within Dynamics and the Power Platform?
That's a great question, Patrick. What is a dashboard? What is a report? What framework do we have for each in Project Operations? How does Power BI play into this? We really have two main ways to address reporting in Project Operations. We can use the inbuilt dashboards and tables, or we can mash together the data in Power BI and embed the result. Both have their pluses and minuses. First, let's just talk for a second about Dynamics 365 views and dashboards. In Dynamics, you can build charts and views using all the data that you've got directly available in your CRM system. That's super cool. And that flexibility definitely gets you up and running out of the gate. But, what about if my data isn't in Dynamics in the first place? Maybe I'm using some operations tracking software for field services or something, and I don't have what I need in order to be able to keep track of exactly what's happening with the delivery. I've got the stuff in the project operations delivery side, but I don't have the stuff in the field services side. So, it's a good start. But let's talk about the art of the possible. And to do that, we're going to focus on a sales dashboard like the one you're seeing on your screen. This dashboard is designed to provide you a pretty good high-level summary of what's going on across the opportunities that your team has been working on this quarter. You can see how they look by stage, top wins, things projected to close soon, and more to the point, you can see projected revenue versus actual revenue, all the key elements that you may want to know to make good decisions about driving that ever-important sales pipeline. Looking at rolled up data is great, especially to avoid information overload at the executive level. But we all know that sometimes you have to get down into the details. So Patrick, what capabilities do we have to double click into the data and zoom in to look more closely?
That frequently comes up as one of the earliest requests when we're doing reporting. Someone will mention, that number looks too big or maybe too small. What's in it? Can't I just double click and drill down? In this case, the answer is absolutely yes. Using your sales dashboard, let's take a look at the bottom right corner where we can see our opportunities closing soon. Specifically, let's look at the project management tools implementation for Engine. When reviewing the dashboard, perhaps someone says, there's no way that project is only estimated for $680,000. We've left something out. Give me more information. Let's click into that project to view a sales detail report, which can tell us a bit more. Here's our sales status detail report. You can see at the top it is specific to the Engine Project Management Tools sales opportunity based on the title. At the top of the page, we can see our quote lines, or lines that appear on our quote. In this case, we have two line items, one for licenses and one for research and development labor. Using this view, we might realize that while R&D is included, we forgot to include actual implementation or training, both of which will definitely bump up the cost just a bit. Additionally, on this page, you'll notice a number of visuals which compare metrics like our revenue and cost by month, revenue and cost by resource, and information about how our quote aligns with customer expectations by taking their budget into consideration. Using this information, we can have a very successful sales cycle. Now, John Michael, once we get a deal sold, monitoring delivery is pretty essential. Can you share a bit about how we look at key metrics for delivery, just like we did for sales?
Here, it's all about, are we getting the job done? And are we going to actually receive the revenue we are expecting? We are doing project operations here, so this is about professional services delivery projects for the most part. We're looking at a very different set of statistics than what we were interested in regarding successful sales pipeline management. We want to know who's the project for, what's the status of completion of each project, how healthy are the projects, which ones have not been started, and when exactly is each one supposed to be completed? I mean, when exactly can we build the customers for these efforts, really? In this specific dashboard, we're also adding a little nuance. We're just paying attention to the projects created in the last month. So if you look in the upper right corner, you can see that that's referenced in the slicer. In addition to that, we also have a current status, so we can select from different statuses of the projects if we want to see a more limited view of the portfolio. And of course, off to the left, we see projects that are active, projects that are not started, some core statistics related to that last 1 month and the overall set of statuses that we're choosing from. So as you notice, we're making some calculations to turn this into a heat map. And the heat is relating to how our revenue is going to look. Unhealthy projects show revenue at risk, as opposed to healthy projects, which show that we are close to taking in all the revenue that we estimated. Pretty cool, eh? Well, it should be no surprise at this point that we can also drill down into our delivery metrics as well. So, Patrick, what can you share about our more detailed reports for delivery?
Well, similar to moving from our sales dashboard down to our sales report, the same thing applies here. For any project in our portfolio, we can drill down to get more granular detail about the specific project. Looking now at our project delivery report, we'll find that this is specific to our internal application customization project for our Globex customer. At a glance, we can quickly see that the project is on schedule, which is a great start, but unfortunately is over budget. Earlier in the session, we talked about unifying your systems and automating reporting. In many organizations, determining if a project is on time requires a conversation with one person, while determining if it is over budget requires a special trip to the finance department. Looking further down the page, we can even expose task level details, such as the Gantt chart shown at the bottom. Providing visibility into the schedule without the need to go somewhere else and open it up is really eye-opening. Now, it's also worth keeping in mind that these are just sample reports and dashboards that we're looking at today. Using the specific data that is collected during your sales and project delivery process, you're able to expand sample reports like these and create entirely original reports that cater to the way your company functions at all levels. As John Michael mentioned earlier, reporting from project operations has many forms. Most of the reporting that we've looked at so far has been in Power BI, but there is also an entire world of embedded reports and dashboards directly in the Dynamics interface. One example is the out-of-the-box profitability analysis feature, where you're able to see chargeable costs, non-chargeable costs, and revenue from the project to determine your gross margin instantly. These numbers aren't manually entered either. They're aggregated automatically from the lines within the quote. Gone are the days of having complicated spreadsheets with resource costs in one column, bill rates in another column, and a bunch of formulas to determine if you'll actually make any money on the project. We've covered some important report information, but I know that not every company will fit the mold, and some may require something special. We also know that one of the components that make Dynamics so robust is that it's underpinned by the Power Platform, which creates almost infinite extensibility. John Michael, can you talk a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. That's an amazing topic and one of the reasons that I personally get so excited about this platform. Project operations isn't just this dedicated single purpose tool for doing professional services project management. Instead, it's this remarkable platform that we can build whole new experiences on top of. Do you need to keep track of a whole fleet of trucks that go around delivering things for your company? It can do that. Do you need to divide up your staff between project activity, delivery activity, and operations activity to keep up that agility that sets you apart from all your competitors? It can do that. Do you need to track customer satisfaction and engage your existing customers to make sure their needs are being met and that all their issues are being taken care of? It can do that too. So what does that mean exactly though? Well, this term extensibility is big. It allows you to build whole new applications by adding new features, adding new tables, adding new data points about the things you already keeping track of. And this all happens because project operations is built on top of this incredible enterprise data model called the Dataverse. I know it sounds a little bit like something out of Avengers, but it's really exciting. With the Power Platform that Microsoft provides, you get to create workflows and robotic automations, low-code or even no-code applications, virtual agents, and put AI to work for you. Crazy, right? With project operations in the Dataverse, it's all about the platform. You break down silos, it's remarkably easy to get the data you need to make decisions, and you can automate nearly anything, freeing up your staff to be empowered and creative and far more productive. What do you think about it, Patrick?
John Michael, I agree. You're absolutely right. The combination of transparent and automated reporting and the extensibility of the Dynamics platform with the Power Platform make this a fantastic opportunity for organizations that are looking to advance the maturity of their tools and have a scalable framework that can grow with them. We've covered lots of great information today, but I'm sure some of the attendees may have a few questions. Let's take a quick look and see if there are some questions in the chat that we can answer. It looks like we've got a bit of a quiet group today. We'll leave the questions open for another couple of minutes. If you've got some, we'd love to hear them. If not, we'll go ahead and wrap up the session at that time.
So we have one question from Curtis. The question is, for a small company, what is the estimate of time we would need to implement this? So when we look at the Dynamics platform, the best thing that we could say is that you want to crawl before you walk, walk before you run. You look at the things that you're trying to accomplish, you concentrate on prioritizing the things that are going to create the best value for you today, and then you really try and put something useful together within a quarter. So, realistically, um, you don't really want to try and boil the ocean, I guess is another way of putting it. If the main thing that you're concerned with is collecting your project information, then you concentrate on that. If the main thing you're concentrating on is quoting and invoicing, then that's what you put your emphasis on. You do this in releases, and the entire reason is so that you can help your staff stay focused on the things that are important, give them some new tools, but advance them piecemeal. And I'm not trying to, we're not really trying to slow people down. We're just trying to make sure that they don't bite off more than they can chew. So I think that getting things done in a quarter is a good idea. As far as just it's really difficult to guesstimate approximately the level of effort involved. But let's say that in general, when you're taking on a new system like this, you're going to concentrate on having a solution architect working with you. You're going to concentrate on having possibly a tester and a person who's going to concentrate on configuration. Those are kind of the small footprint that you want. The solution architect concentrates on design and seeing the big picture, and the tester and the main delivery consultant or the configuration consultant concentrates on trying to make sure that all the things that you've agreed to in the design are working, are meeting your expectations. That all needs to be validated by you, of course. So it is possible to do a proof of concept pretty easily within somewhere in the range of 160 to 320 hours. It's possible to get a good first release out the door in somewhere between 480 and 500 hours. But again, the exact scope of what you're trying to do is going to make that number stretch or contract. Sometimes people just need to get started, and you concentrate on doing some training, doing some basic rapid deployment setup, and getting to work. Sometimes you want to do very sophisticated workflows. You want to incorporate a large number of different project delivery mechanism or project delivery types, and you also have a sophisticated set of things that you're doing in terms of analysis. Okay, so all those different pieces could affect the end result. Hopefully that gives you a good idea and gives you some place to start with. Any comments you wanted to add, Patrick?
No, I think that's a great summary, and I would summarize it from our side as saying one of our key tenets is start conservatively with features. Don't try to implement every bell and whistle on the first release. And that's exactly aligned with what you said. Pick those high priority items, those high value items, start with those, and from there, move on and elaborate and enhance as you go forward.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Patrick. Well, I think that's all the questions we have. If there's nothing else, then we can go ahead and wrap up. We appreciate everybody's attendance today. Any last parting remarks that you wanted to add in, Patrick?
Yeah, I'm really glad that everyone could join us today, and I hope that you've learned a bit more about how Dynamics 365 project operations can provide that one-stop shop for your organization's activities. I do want to invite everyone to come back and join us in 2 weeks for our next webinar in the series, where we'll live a day in the life of a project and resource manager within the project operations ecosystem. Of course, if anyone comes up with specific questions or if anyone's ready to get started with their very own implementation of project operations, please reach out and we're certainly glad to help. Thanks again and have a great day.